Mondi, what's up,
Hello,
man?
man.
We
How's it
have a
going?
lot, and when I say a lot, like this is
Yeah,
going to be the biggest news
yeah,
pod of the year. I mean,
yeah. It's
oh
a
my
lot for
god,
sure.
it is a lot of things to discuss. Just in time for Christmas for you guys. There will not be an episode on Monday, but we will resume the episodes this following Friday, I guess. I'll be back in Atlanta, so no time to shoot. But anyway, that's who cares about that shit. Mondi, let's get it, man. We got a lot to discuss, a lot of things to get to. Let's get right into it.
Sure, sure. Naomi Scott, who you guys may know as Princess Jasmine in the live action Aladdin or the Pink Power Ranger in 2017's Power Ranger reboot, is set to star in the sequel for the Smile movie coming October 18th of next year. Were you a fan of the first Smile? Did you watch it, or do you want to see her as the lead?
It's funny. The promo for that looked really good and really interesting, but I never made it to a theater to see it, and I haven't watched it on streaming. From what I remember hearing about it, I thought that it was decently received by critics, but maybe you weren't the biggest fan of it or something like that. So Smile 2, okay, cool. Maybe I'll check it out eventually. The first one, I mean, but um, shout out to Naomi Scott. I believe you said her name was. So yeah, we'll see.
Yes.
I can't say I'm excited for this. No.
Yeah, you nailed it on the head. Most critics and people loved it. It wasn't really my cup of tea. A little
That's fair.
boring, a little
That's
long in the
fair.
tooth.
Mm.
Kiki Palmer has been cast as the female lead opposite of Eddie Murphy in the new movie called The Pickup. It's going to be a heist comedy coming to Amazon. Eddie Murphy's having kind of like a renaissance now. Do you want to
Ooh.
see Kiki and Eddie teamed up?
This is like super weird. He's like 50 years older than her, but maybe it won't bother me. I don't know. And yeah, like this whole Eddie Murphy and Amazon Prime thing that they've got going on, like whatever deal that he signed with Amazon and whatever deal Kevin Hart signed with Netflix, like they got a death grip on these niggas and they are not letting go. It's crazy. Um, I don't know, man. I was like I've said this before. I was never the biggest fan of Eddie Murphy when he was coming up in the. I mean, obviously, I wasn't born in the '80s. I was born in '93, but um, I wasn't the biggest fan of like his music run or his stand up comedy run or his film run. And then when he became Mushu and Donkey, I mean, he was cool. Doctor Doolittle, like he was cool, but I don't know. I never had like this infatuation with Eddie Murphy, so I don't care that he's back. I guess I say all that to say like I don't really care. It doesn't really mean anything to me. So yeah, what do you think?
As someone who did care about Eddie Murphy in his heyday, I don't care that he's back either. Um,
Damn. Okay. All right.
Spyglass apparently tried to have a meeting with Melissa Barrera after the backlash that they received for firing her. Um, this was reported anyway, and Barrera apparently refused to comply, with their wishes to kind of re-engage and maybe coming back for a Scream movie, which I honestly commend her. Kudos, because fuck them. But what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah. It's just this entire situation is just unfortunate, and I'm speaking from a fan perspective, obviously, because I loved the last two screams that we got, and I wanted to see what they were going to do with Scream 7. But it's just not meant to be anymore. I mean, I guess Spyglass kind of had to save face and try to reach out to her to rectify their hasty decision. Um, I don't know, man. Yeah, this kind of just sucks. So sure, business is business, I guess.
Agreed, agreed. I mean, I selfishly do want her to return as well, but at the same time, I want her to do what's best for her. And this is what happened when you try to pander to these woke idiots who want you to react on the drop of a dime. So I hope Spyglass eats it in the ass.
Mm.
Um, Ryan Gosling has released Ken, the EP, containing four different versions of "I'm Just Ken" from the Barbie movie, including a Christmas version.
Mm.
Will you be checking for this? This Kenergy?
Probably, honestly.
What really?
I still don't think that like this is better than Peaches, and this was actually nominated for whatever award movies get. I can't
The,
remember if it's Oscars. Oscars, yeah,
yeah, Oscar, the Academy Award. Yep.
yeah. So Ken. I'm just Ken was actually nominated, but not Peaches, which is weird. Um,
I
but
thought
yeah,
Peaches was
this
nominated.
no, it didn't make the cut.
Oh.
So yeah, I guess I will check for this, but like I'm not like excited. Like I'm not like, oh my god, I gotta go download the new Ken. Like I don't give a fuck.
I did
But
not expect you to
I'll
say
bump
that
it in
you'd be
my
looking
car.
forward to this. That's funny. Nigga been listening to four versions of "I'm Just Ken."
That's it.
Um, tidbitty time. Taylor Lautner says that he almost was recast in the Twilight Saga New Moon, with a more built and muscular man.
Yep.
Apparently, according to him, the plan was to always recast him because in the books, Jacob goes from looking like a scrawny little 16-year-old boy to like a 25-year-old muscular man when he transitions into becoming a werewolf. And so he said he had to work hard and fight for his role. And I got to say, man, I think his body transformation might be one of the most iconic in film history in my life, anyway. Because I remember it
Wow.
was a big thing. I remember watching. This is so random, but I was watching the MTV Movie Awards, and the trailer for New Moon dropped while they were showing the award show. And I remember like when Taylor Lautner took off his shirt and he turned into the wolf or whatever, and he was shirtless. I was like, oh my god, who is that? Like the whole crowd went crazy. Like that was a crazy, crazy body transformation. And so yeah, I'm glad he worked hard for his role because I can't imagine him being recast as Edward or as Edward
Jacob.
Jacob. Sorry, what the fuck?
Jacob. Jesus Christ. Yeah. This is something that he's talked about for a while now. It's actually super interesting because if they would have done it, it really wouldn't have. Like I wouldn't have cared. Like I literally wouldn't have cared. Because especially in like the first Twilight, like he's basically like a cameo. Like he's, oh hey Bella, how you doing, Loca? But like dude, that's fucking it, like. So yeah, shout out to Taylor Lautner for taking this shit seriously and putting the work in and becoming ripped. So yeah,
Yeah,
I would never forget my fucking theater was just going crazy as nigga took his little shirt off.
crazy,
I was just
crazy,
like,
bro.
oh my god, it was like me and like 500 bitches. I was just like, ah! Yeah.
Now I'm curious. Were you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
In it, like I don't remember. I feel like I flip flopped depending on what movie I was watching because sometimes I was like, obviously, I feel like the story was making it so it had to be Team Edward, but I don't know. I feel like Team Jacob was kind of cool too, but honestly, I don't remember. So I'm gonna say I was Team Edward, but I literally don't remember.
Okay, I was Team Jacob over here. Anyway, Archer has ended after 14 years, so all the fans of the Archer animated show, I know I never watched it, but I know it has a core fan base. I'm sorry, you guys, this show has ended. A Wednesday spinoff focused on Uncle Fester is being discussed. Netflix is said to be really eager to establish the Addams Family universe. For those who don't remember, Uncle Fester appeared briefly at the end of Wednesday, but he's a big character in the Addams Family lore. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't even remember him appearing at the end of Wednesday, so
Okay,
that's
it was like
cool.
a big reveal. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that you say it, it kind of rings a bell, but like, yeah. Anyway, this is just nuts. Like the MCU is just nuts, man. They've started this whole thing of like everything has to be a universe now. Okay. Shout out to Wednesday and the Addams Family. Hopefully, that's more money and more jobs for talent. So sure.
Yes, I would love to see more Morticia. That was a MILF. Um, there's also been two Peaky Blinders spinoffs reportedly in the works at Netflix. One takes place in Boston, decades after the original series, and the second one focuses on Polly. So I have no idea what either one of those mean because I didn't watch the Peaky Blinders, but I know it has a really big fan base. I heard it's an amazing show. So shout out Killian Murphy. There's also an Extraction spinoff show reportedly in development at Netflix.
Wow,
So
that's crazy.
yeah. Any thoughts on this?
That is crazy. That's what my thoughts. What the fuck? We're gonna have what's Chris Hemsworth's younger brother? Liam Hemsworth?
Liam.
He's gonna be the star.
No, Liam's gonna be focused on The Witcher. He's taking over Henry Cavill. But yeah, if Chris is not gonna be involved, man, I'm sorry. I can't check for that. There's going to be a 4-part Messi documentary. This is the, of course, famous soccer star Lionel Messi, releasing on February 21st on Apple TV. There's a trailer out now. For people who care about that kind of stuff.
Bro, it's crazy how huge these soccer players are, man. Like,
oh yeah.
I'm like low key. I'm like ignorant to the fact of like how big and famous these fucking guys are, and just how popular soccer is. I mean, obviously we don't treasure it here in America at all. So like, how would I really be exposed to it? But yeah, like it's a fucking worldwide game, man. Those dudes are fucking mega stars. Like you think LeBron's like I mean, oh, okay, all right. Obviously LeBron is still like a mega star, but like there's like 5 LeBrons in soccer. like there's so many of these guys that are like mega stars, and I just didn't realize that until maybe like a year ago. So shout out to Messi, man.
Yeah. Did you also know that Pokemon has a stop motion series that's releasing December 28th on Netflix? I had
Oh
no
my
idea.
god.
It's called Pokemon Concierge. I haven't seen any kind of promo for this, but I'm a big Pokemon fan. I might check this out depending on if it's like not too kiddie. But yeah, Pokemon fans, there's a stop motion series coming to Netflix December 28th.
Boo. Get rid of stop motion animation. It doesn't have a place in cinema anymore. Boo, get rid of it.
That's a horrible take.
It's not.
Mufasa, the Lion King. So the premise of the movie has been finally released and revealed. Apparently, the premise of this movie is going to be the movie will follow the rise of the young, I guess, Mufasa, and it kind of returns to the savannas of Africa, where Rafiki tells Kiara, who's Simba and Nala's daughter now, the story of her grandfather and how he came to power. So we also get some commentary from Timon and Pumbaa. So basically, it's like the story of Mufasa and his rise to power, but also like in the present day or in the future, I guess, where Rafiki's telling the story of how Mufasa rose to power. So that's kind of cool. So it's not following Simba's pride, but something a little different.
I like it. Let's do it. I'll be there opening night.
And guys, this is the live action Lion King that we're talking about. This is the sequel to the live action one that made $1 billion a couple years ago. We also have more details on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes as well. So this movie is going to be set 300 years after the last film. It's going to be planned as a whole new trilogy, and also the main character has no idea who Caesar is, which kind of bums me out. But I'm sure that that's for good reason. So you still haven't watched the Planet of the Apes movies, the Matt Reeves trilogy. I highly recommend you do. It's literally one of the best trilogies in modern history, in my opinion. So this news probably doesn't mean anything to you, but for Planet of the Apes fans, this is kind of really interesting in terms of the direction that they're going for this new trilogy.
Well, I saw the trailer when I went to see Aquaman today, and it looked like they were hinting at the fact that whoever this new main character that we're with is going to have some type of tie to Caesar. So I don't think we've seen the last of Caesar. So yeah, I mean, hopefully once I catch up, I'll be able to watch this when it comes out. I think it comes out in the summer or spring. I can't remember next year. So I'm looking forward to it, honestly.
Yeah. Illumination Studios, of course, the studio behind Minions, the Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
They have reportedly have shared a pitch with Nintendo to create a shared cinematic universe that would evolve into an Avengers-inspired Super Brothers Smash film. Me and Julian called this out as soon as Mario Brothers made $1 billion.
Yep.
This universe would require multiple spin-off films after the Super Mario Brothers movie that came out earlier this year, and it will not include the live-action Zelda, which I also called out earlier. I said they'd have to make a whole new animated Zelda, which they plan on doing as well. So, yeah, we have the Super Smash Bros. Avengers coming. I'm totally here for it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll be 45 when this shit comes out, and I can't fucking wait. Like, I can't fucking wait. I'll be there like it's 1999 when Super Smash Bros. Actually came out. I'm absolutely here for this. Like you said, this was just inevitable. This is something that we called. I mean, as soon as Super Mario Brothers hit that $1 billion mark, so I honestly want this. Like, I think that was one of the great things about the film. Like, I saw the potential in building out something like this. I mean, it just makes logical sense. So I'm here for it. I love it.
Same, man. I totally same. I told you, man. When it comes to Zelda, they were just gonna make an adult one or in a more adult one, and they're gonna make a kiddie one. So, I can't wait to see a Star Fox movie. I can't wait to see an Ike movie. It's gonna be a Lucas movie. It's gonna be so cool just to see all that shit come to fruition.
I agree.
Let's talk some trailers. We have the trailer to the My Hero Academia season 7, or it's really more so of a teaser, if you ask me. But it comes out May 4th of next year. I honestly chose just to skip this completely. I just want to go into it. I love season 6. It's one of my favorite seasons of television I've ever seen. So I just want to go into it blind as possible. But what are your thoughts on the teaser that you saw?
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, anime trailers don't really give you much, which I love. And I also have not read the manga for this, and I have somehow avoided like major spoilers for this, to my knowledge, anyway. So I don't know what to expect. I mean, all I know is that the USA's top hero is coming in to help with the fight against All for One, and that's really all I have to go on for this season. So I'm super excited. I mean, My Hero Academia has been one of my favorite things on TV for a long time, man. So I'm super excited for this. Yeah.
Sir. Snoop Dogg and Mike Epps, that's quite the segue there, star in the trailer to the movie called The Underdogs, coming to Prime Video January 26th. What are your thoughts when you saw this trailer of Mike Epps and Snoop Dogg teaming up for a little comedy?
It was funny. I was laughing when I was watching this trailer. I was like, wait, what? Like, okay. And you know, I feel like it kind of mirrors life a little bit because Snoop really does love football, and I'm pretty sure he coached his son's football team.
Hmm.
So that's cool. And I mean, you know, Mike Epps just knows who he is at this point, and he just knows how to be funny. Um, I'm not going to lie and say that I'm going to watch this opening night or whenever it comes out on streaming because I'm probably not. But I will probably watch this and I will probably actually enjoy this. Um, yeah, I mean this trailer made me laugh. I'm not gonna lie. I was pleasantly surprised by this. What do you think?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I kind of agree, man. I think the trailer looks like a lot of fun. This won't be movie of the year by far. It won't even be in my top 30 movies of the year, but it can be something I can definitely sit back and have a couple laughs at and enjoy. So I
Hmm.
love me a little stupid black comedy every now and then. That sounded
Yep,
horrible.
it really did.
Um,
But okay.
Michelle Yeoh stars in the first trailer to The Brother's Son. This is coming January 4th on Netflix. Kind of a kung fu 'em up movie. You know, she's due for one after every two movies. So she's back in the kung fu space. It's really focusing on really her sons, really more so than her.
Hmm.
But they're trying to build her as a star, which is I'm just not going for it. But what are your thoughts on this trailer?
Well, I mean, she's the only one that has any name value. They don't have a choice but to
Right,
bill her as the star.
right.
Um, and yeah, I don't think she's going to do literally any action stunt in this film based on what I saw in the trailer. Now, if they're saving, if they're saving that for the film, then hoorah! But based on what I saw and the narrative that I was following, it's like you said, like it's about her two sons. They kind of reminded me of like twins a little bit. Like one's the stumbling, bumbling buffoon, and the other is just this super spy, super killer type guy. Cool. I'll watch it. I'll probably have some kind of modicum of enjoyment, but I'm not like looking forward to this either. Shout out to Michelle Yeoh though. I love her, but I'm not really looking forward to this.
Yeah, this trailer, I'm really on the fence about this one. I'm interested because of the kung fu aspect and Michelle Yeoh, but I'm not interested because I feel like I just don't trust Netflix with this. And so, if you can see it first this time for once, bitch, that'd be great. If you could let me know how it is.
Okay.
Um, we have the trailer for Alex Garland's Civil War. This is starring Kirsten Dunst and Jesse Plemons, her real life husband. Fun fact. It comes in theaters April 26th. At $75 million for the budget, this is the most expensive A24 movie ever made. What are your thoughts?
I don't remember this trailer. I'm sitting here trying to think about literally what happened. All I remember is just like seeing like a very old Kirsten Dunst, and I was like, damn, like I'm old. Um, but yeah, I don't remember anything about this. No, 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 no,
Yes.
no, no, no. This is the one where like they're separated. They separated the states, and like Texas is like a state, and they're fighting for. Yeah, actually, I know exactly what this is.
All right.
This looked kind of interesting. Is and like it only really looked interesting because there's been like Twitter comedy about the fact that like Florida and Texas just do whatever they want and they're kind of their own state already. Like they literally don't care. Like they were like the first two states to open up in the pandemic. They were like, yeah, okay, whatever, nigga, pandemic, whatever, who cares? Um, so yeah, this could be interesting depending on the satire and how deep they want to go into things. So I actually may check this out.
Yeah, man. I think this is a very interesting premise. I believe in the trailer, I could be wrong. Texas and California are teaming up and they're calling themselves the West.
Yes.
And they're fighting, I guess, other states. So basically, it's like a modern day civil war, which I think can be really
Hmm.
cool if done right. Alex Garland is one of those directors that he's very hit or miss for me. I think like movies like Annihilation and Ex Machina are some of the great A24 film, but then his last one that came out this year, I believe, called Men, was horrible. So, but the budget, I can't believe this cost more than Everything Everywhere All at Once. But I guess because of all the probably they had to block off hella streets and all the helicopters and guns and shit like that. But yeah, I'll be here. I'll be here opening night as well. I think this could end up being very interesting, just
Yep.
from a premise standpoint. Jeffrey Wright, Tracy Ellis Ross, Issa Rae, and Sterling K. Brown, quite the cast. They're a star in the new trailer for American Fiction. It's in theaters everywhere this January. I believe it's out right now in some select theaters. But this is
Mm.
like a black satire on an author who basically like the white people are telling him like, "Can you make a black book?" And it's kind of funny if you watch the trailer. But
Mhm.
what are your thoughts? Is it something that you might want to check out potentially?
Probably, but this seems like more of like a streaming thing. Like I don't know if I waste my time going to the movies to see something like this. But yeah, like the premise of like we want something black. Like that's what like the general audience wants. Like they want something black. They want the black experience. And then when you try to write something as a black man or black woman that is from your own experience, they're like, wait, okay, can you just like thug it up and nigger it up and like, like come on,
Right.
you know what you want. I like 100% believe that those conversations have happened and are probably still happening in Hollywood. So yeah, like it's like you said, like the satire in that element could be interesting. Um, I've seen, I think in the trailer that they said that it's like a great performance from Jeffrey Wright. We'll see. I mean, they hype everything up, so we'll see if it actually has any meat and potatoes in it. But yeah, from like a base level tagline, I'm interested, but I'm probably not going to go to the movies to see this.
Yeah, I think the cast alone is for somebody like me. I just have to watch this. I mean, Jeffrey Wright, Tracy Ellis Ross, Issa Rae, and Sterling K. Brown. Those are all heavy hitters in my opinion. And I think Jeffrey Wright is somebody who's having a blossoming in his career later on in life, but he's always been super super talented. I
I
think he
agree.
has one of the best voices in Hollywood as well. I know it's random, but if you hear his voice work, it's really really good. But yeah, I'm really excited to see Jeffrey Wright come into his own and have a starring role. So yeah. We have the trailer for John Krasinski's new film, If. It has been released. This is quite a stacked cast. We got Ryan Reynolds, we got John Krasinski, we got Steve Carell. Him and John Krasinski are teaming up again after The Office. We got Matt Damon, Emily Blunt, his real life wife. It comes to theaters on May 17th. Quite the change up from what he's been doing with the Quiet Place films. So he's showing his range as a director, I guess. With now it's like a kid film, I guess, like a children's film. But what are your thoughts on If?
I did not see this trailer. This must be one of the ones that you tagged me in and got deleted or something. I don't know, but
Oh, okay.
this don't sound familiar at all.
Okay, well, basically, it stars Ryan Reynolds, and he basically meets his imaginary friend from when he was a kid, and he's come to life, and it really reads as like a kids movie. That's why I said Krasinski's kind of showing off his range here because he went from A Quiet Place, which is so dark, and to now something like this. And so, honestly, the trailer didn't really appeal to me that much, but I'm gonna watch it because I like John Krasinski, and hopefully, it can be a good movie because I thought Quiet Place is one of the best horror films in recent years. So, I'll check it out. It's got a stacked cast as well.
Okay.
Um, Last trailer here, guys, is for the one that's got the internet buzzing right now. It's called The American Society of Magical Negroes. This film hits theaters on March 22nd of next year. Quite the premise, if you want to explain it to the audience in a nutshell. But what are your thoughts on the trailer?
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't know what the tagline or what the premise was before, and it seems like a lot of people did. And I so like me watching the trailer, it was just like a progressive. Like, there's no way that this is actually what this movie's about. There's no way. So for anybody that hasn't seen this trailer, essentially, and look, that could be the joke of the film, right? But essentially, it's about making white people comfortable. Like that's like the bare bones that I can give you. Like it's about everyday life, in the office space or at a restaurant or whatever. Like your job as a black man is to make white people comfortable, and like there's this whole society of Negroes that have been doing it for centuries and millennia that's trying to
Well,
uh
don't forget, they're
make them
magical
comfortable.
Negroes. They're literally
Yes.
wizards.
Yes. So that's what they're doing with their powers. So I'm going to assume that is the joke. I'm not sure why they would lead with that. Like, why would people of color, especially, want to see this? But then again, as we always forget, we're the minority. So who gives a fuck about us? Maybe white people see this and they're like, ha, yeah, I can't wait to go see this nigger movie. I mean, magical Negroes. I mean, so who knows? I don't know. We'll see. What do you think? I'm curious.
First of all, I would love to see white people at the box office say, "Can I get two? Can I get two tickets to the
This magical
American
nigger film.
Society of Magical Niggers?" Yeah. Anyway, but
Ah,
honestly, I might. This might be a hot take. This trailer
oh
looks
god.
so refreshing and original, and I totally think it's totally on the nose on purpose, and they're definitely trying to
I hope
have
so.
a satire moment. I do kind of take issue with the fact. Well, this is it's gonna be hard to kind of verbalize, but Justice Smith, I like him as an actor,
Uh
but I just feel like he's just such a safe option when it comes to being
oh.
a palatable actor for white people to consume. He's like the Zoe Kravitz of niggas, like he's like the Zendaya of niggas. Like if you're gonna go for it, like let's just go for it. You know, let's get like a Daniel Kaluuya or somebody in there, a John Boyega. Like I hate to say the term real black man because that's not really fair to Justice Smith, but I don't know. I'm just tired of Hollywood trying to constantly feed us, or not us, or the masses, should I say, with these palatable white black people.
Well,
But
I
once
think
again,
that was
I'm
like a
sorry. Go
bit
ahead.
in the trailer, right? Like, I mean, Justice Smith, like, I'm pretty sure that was like a bit in the trailer about how he looks and white people are more comfortable with people that look like him. So
That's true.
I think that's
This
what they were going for.
this film also stars Jeffrey Wright, right?
Uh,
He he's
no,
the he's the magical Negro that's giving him. He's like the mentor, right? Or am I tripping? Yeah, yeah.
you could be right. I mean, I
Okay.
don't
Well,
remember seeing him in it, but I watched the trailer 3 4 days ago. So what do I
okay.
know?
Anyway, yeah, my only hope for this movie is that they don't play it safe. Like, let's go for it. Let's get uncomfortable. I don't think they're gonna do that, to be honest, but I would love if this movie kind of pushed the boundaries and kind of just really had some kind of smart narrative to say at the end of the day when it's all said and done. But I'll definitely be looking forward to it. It looks original. I'm here for any original idea at this point. I'm franchised
So
out.
let me ask you a question real quick before we move on. If this movie is what it is at face value, are you going to be upset? Like
Yeah,
if
not
if
upset,
there's
not a
no joke, there's like that's the movie.
yeah. I don't know about if upset is the right word, but I'll be disappointed. Yeah, I'll be
Disappointed.
disappointed.
Okay,
Yeah, for sure.
got
I'm hoping that there's some nuance there. Um,
it.
let's get into some reviews. And Julian, I want to do a new rule because I was thinking, like, from the perspective of somebody listening to our pod, it's not fair to do these reviews and just blind them with spoilers. So can we do either a non-spoiler alert or a spoiler alert in front of any of our reviews so that way they have an idea of what they're getting into? Can we do that from now on?
Sure, no problem.
Okay. Did you watch any shows or
I
finish any
watched
shows?
a few shows. So I guess I'll start with Blue Eye Samurai.
Ooh,
Um,
yes.
I
I'm
was able
interested in
to
your thoughts.
finish it. Guys, I'm just gonna give a blanket statement. I'm not withholding any spoilers. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, I'm sorry. Uh, Blue Eye Samurai, man, where to begin? I guess I'll start with the promo for the show. The promo for the show was weird, and it's something that we talked about on the pod. I'm pretty sure you even mentioned it in your review. Like you were just like, the promo for the show wasn't the best. It made it look like this just
We
weird,
laughed
goofy
at it.
revenge story. Yeah, right. Like
Yeah.
literally, like we actually laughed. We were
We had a
like,
laugh. Yeah.
there's no way that it's just about this samurai trying to get back because she was born from a white man. That's what the show is. I mean that is literally what the show is. Um, so I kind of wasn't expecting that. Look, if you love you a good old fashioned revenge tale, this is right up your alley. Unfortunately, I've never been one to sit there and enjoy just a good old fashioned revenge tale. They just don't do it for me. There's just not a lot of substance there. I typically don't care as much about the revenge, and those things were all true during my viewing experience of this. Um, I will say some of the characters were actually really likable, like Ringo. He was super likable, super funny anytime he was on the screen. I liked Taigen, even though he was a little fruity. This nigga swore that Mizu was a man the entire series and was low key flirting with him throughout the entire thing. But
It
to each
got
his own,
hard
I
too at
guess.
one point.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, yeah. Like they almost fucked, which was crazy. And
Not crazy though.
it's crazy. I think I think this show just kind of confirmed again because I'm pretty sure I've confirmed this with myself many times, but this animation style, man, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Bothers me in the Spider-Man films, Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse. It bothered me in TMNT earlier this year. I just can't get with it. Like it borderline takes me out of whatever I'm watching. Like the animation is just so ugly. I just can't stand it. Uh, Brenda Song was back in this playing Akemi. It's unfortunate that she had the worst fucking storyline to deal with. Um, the entire thing of oh, I'm a woman in feudal Japan, but I want to do my own thing. Like, no, bitch, you're here to get fucked, or you're here to like start having heir, start having children. That's all women were good for back then. And I'm sick of this trope of like women can do anything at any time, because no, you couldn't. Sorry, you could not. Anyway, but yeah, shout out to Brenda Song. I guess she was okay. It was just good to hear her voice. Um, Grew up with Brenda Song. The action was a the action was interesting because obviously because it's on Netflix, they were able to just do whatever they wanted, and because of animation, they were to just do whatever they wanted in terms of like the over the top violence, whether it's like shooting somebody's teeth in an eyeball, or like just completely like severing a dude's head, or like whatever. Like, you know, like I don't need that stuff in order for something to be good. Like, you know, obviously there are people who prefer that. You know, that's fine. It's just not for me. Um, and yeah, I think my biggest problem with the show was that there just wasn't anything for me personally to like latch on to and love or root for. Um, Mizu was okay, and you know, obviously they're making a season two because a lot of people enjoyed it. I just wasn't one of those people. This show just wasn't for me, and that's okay. I ended up giving it a C. Uh, yeah, I just didn't love this.
Yeah, so I mean, I respect everything that you just said, but
Do
at the
you?
same time, I do have to disagree, even though because I just think that I'm surprised you don't like this show. I think this is just one of the best shows I've seen in a long time in any medium. I mean, the point that
Wow.
you try to make, the point you try to say it's just only a revenge story. I think you're kind of reducing it a lot. It's much more than just a revenge
Hmm,
story. It's
okay.
definitely a human story. I think all the main players have their own arcs that they have to go through. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the the character voiced by Brenda Song, what was her name again? I forgot.
Akemi.
Akemi. I thought she had a wonderful arc. I think it's more than just her trying to be a
What?
woman empowerment or whatever.
Okay.
I thought she had a wonderful arc, and the animation is beautiful. I mean, but I think the animation for Spider Verse and TMNT is just wonderful. Like they're able to capture so many nuances of how people's facial expressions are, and just I don't know, it just looks like a painting come to life. And so I
Mm-hmm.
disagree wholeheartedly with all the things you just said, but I do respect what
Mm-hmm.
you just said as well.
Do you? Doesn't sound like
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. I do, I do.
Hey
Um,
man, different strokes for different folks. We're gonna talk about that, about the boy and the heron, very soon. So
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, before we move on to my next show review, I do want to talk about the Headliners Only documentary, which is also on Netflix, starring Kevin Hart and Chris Rock. You didn't get a chance to check this out, did you?
No, I did not. No.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you don't care about Kevin Hart, so yeah. Anyway, so look, I mean, obviously, it was. I mean, I'm pretty sure I gave the synopsis of this on our last pod. Like this was about a documentary about them both headlining in New York City together. But when they actually broke it down and kind of explained why they did it, like I like really enjoyed that part of it. Because you know, 23 years ago when they did the Kings of Comedy, uh, with Cedric the Entertainer, Bernie Mac, Steve Harvey, and
Yo, Hughley.
D.L. Hughley. Thank you. That was like a big deal, man. That was like the first time that like black comics started to tour arenas, and like I didn't really realize that. Like obviously you had the solo acts like Eddie Murphy, you had the Chris Rocks, you had the Chris Tuckers that would do venues and arenas here and there, but this was like the first time that there was like a group of performers in comedy doing this together on such a large scale. And you know, Kevin Hart and Chris Rock thought that it would be a great idea because they were both doing their own individual tours at the time, but there was so much division in our community, as there always is, and so much competition, unhealthy competition, to where they just wanted to kind of say that, like, look, both of us are at the peak of this. Like, both of them have made hundreds of millions of dollars touring. Um, and if you add Dave Chappelle in there, like, they're kind of like the cornerstones of like our generation of black comics. and Dave Chappelle was able to make the Madison Square Garden show. So just just seeing them share the stage together was kind of like a moment. Like I'm a big fan of stand up comedy, and I'm a big fan of us being together. Because so many times we are so divisive and so competitive to the point where it's just like fuck you before you even have like a real conversation with each other. Um, so shout out to Kevin Hart and Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle for doing this. I actually really enjoyed the documentary, man. It was super fun. So I'm not gonna give like a rating for it because it wasn't a film. It's just a documentary about what happened. But I will recommend it for people. It's called Headliners Only on Netflix. It's only about an hour. It's really good, man. I really appreciated it for what it was. But let's move on, Manu.
Cool. Do you have any other shows? I have some
Oh,
shows, but do
Yu
you have any
Hakusho.
shows? Okay. Well, can we do that one last in terms of
Yep.
the shows? Okay.
Yep.
Well, I just have two shows. The first show is Wheel of Time season 2. I
Mm.
stated last pod I watched the first season of Wheel of Time, Wheel of Pod, which was released in
Trying to change the name.
2021. It's for those who don't know, it's a fantasy show. It's on Amazon Prime. I was wanting a fantasy show, a new one to watch, and season 1 was really really good, and so I was excited for season 2. Honestly, it did kind of take a step back, which kind of disappointed me. But it's still good in my opinion. I think season 2, it does what most season 2 does when it comes to these kind of shows. It expands the lore and more secrets are revealed. However, this is the part in every movie or series that we had when there's like a team of people where like everybody goes their separate ways and they're all split up. I really don't like when narratives do that, but I totally understand why they do it. Like I'd probably do it if I was writing a long extended series as well, because you need that individual growth for each character and kind of be able to see them on their own apart from the team. But I just
Hmm.
love when teams that I like, especially, are together and they're interacting and they're having that camaraderie or whatever. So it did make it at the end that much more sweeter when they did finally reunite. So I think that season 3 can really it's set up to be probably my favorite season yet, because everybody's growing into their powers and everybody's going to be together. It looks like in season 3. So,
Wow.
guys, if you're into fantasy, Wheel of Time, I say just give season 1 a try. It's just 8 episodes. It's got they got the lore, the witchcraft, the monsters, all that kind of stuff. If you like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, that kind of stuff. Moving on. Next review is for Rap Shit season 2. Are you familiar with this show?
Not at all. Never heard of it.
Okay, well, this is Issa Rae's. This is the show that she executive produced after Insecure.
Okay,
Uh,
never mind. I know what this is. Yeah.
yeah, season 1 came out just last year, and now season 2 is already back. I thought season 1 started off very shaky, but it ended with like a lot of momentum towards the back half of the season, and I was hoping that season 2 would be able to maintain that momentum, and it did 100%, which I was so thankful for. This show I think it's got something going here. It's found its identity. It's found its rhythm. Issa Rae is not like like directing or writing, I don't believe, but she's executive producing, and you can feel her influence, her impact on the show a lot. I love how the show basically, I'm sorry, damn, excuse me. The show is like a commentary on like the modern landscape of like female rap and like what's going on. So you can tell like these two women in the lead roles are based off of the city girls and their rise to fame or whatever. And so it's just really cool to see like the commentary it has on the state of hip hop. It addresses a lot of things like colorism and toxic masculinity, but it does it in a way where it never feels preachy. It's just part of the fun story that you're on, which is, I think, that's kind of the best storytelling in my opinion. And everyone's acting improved a lot, because season 1 you could tell these were like some newcomers on the scene that were trying to get their footing. But season 2, everybody's coming to play, man. Their acting is really really good. There's one character who stands out in particular. Her name is Chastity on the show. But her name in real life is Jonica Booth. She apparently started off on like reality TV, and this is her first acting foray. And you'd never be able to tell. She's absolutely amazing. And so I look forward to seeing more of this show, man. I think it's found its rhythm. I think season 3 is going to get bigger and better. So yeah, Rap Shit, guys. If you guys are looking for a new
Mm.
Issa Rae kind of show, it has that Insecure kind of feel a little bit, but I recommend it for sure. I gave it a
So
B, by the way.
it, I remember you were talking about a show that felt like a show for like 30-year-old women or something like that, and then somebody on TikTok was like, "Well, how would you know? You know?" Is that what this show is?
Yeah, no. So that was Harlem. That's the show with Megan
Ah,
Good on Prime Video.
okay, got it.
Yeah, this is something. Yeah, this is more so like our generation, like just or really
Mm,
20s, mid 20s or whatever. But yeah.
mm,
Um.
got it.
Oh, and I gave Wheel of Time season 2 a B minus. Like I think it was a step down from the B plus, which was season 1. Anyway, now let's talk about Yu Hakusho, the live action adaptation on Netflix. Please give me your thoughts.
I'd like you to go first, Monty. So first of all, I saw your TikTok, but I didn't watch the TikTok. It's one of
Oh,
those things
okay.
that happens when I was scrolling, and I was just like, "Oh, there's Monty," and he was like, "Hey guys, Yu Hakusho," and I was just like, "Oh god." First
Okay.
of all, I want you to go first because you have never seen the anime. I'm assuming you have not read the manga. I'm assuming anyway, and I consume this show totally different than you because I have done both
Right.
of those things. So
Right.
I want to know your opinion before I give my mostly negative opinion. So please tell
Okay.
me what you thought.
Okay. Okay. So I think it's very important to note what you just said. I don't have any context. I'd never watched the anime. I've always been aware of it though. I remember on Toonami like seeing like Yu Yu Hakusho or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I just never watched it. And so this is my first experience with the show. And yeah, I'll say this too. I watched it dubbed. I think you do get two different experiences from watching a show dubbed or subbed.
Why
So
would
I
you watch
watched
it?
what?
Okay, why would you do that? You're funny. Okay, go ahead.
I watched it dubbed, and it definitely leans into that corny anime kind of voice acting, which same thing with like Squid Game and stuff like that. But I've come to somewhat enjoy it. This 1000% feels like an anime come to life, and I mean that for better and for worse. Mostly for the better, in my opinion. But so anime translating to live action just doesn't always feel natural. But this show really leans into it. I feel like it leans into that anime background. I just want to shout out Yusuke as well as the main character. He's literally the most nonchalant slash coolest nigga I've ever seen in any medium. Well, this interpretation of him anyway. I didn't watch the anime. So as someone that watched the anime, can you just tell me real quick, is he really this fucking cool in the anime?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, bro. He was saying some of the funniest shit to me. Like I was like literally like I'm like this a comedy? Like he was like this nigga died in the first episode. It was like, oh, guess I'm dead now, huh? Guess I'm a ghost. Whatever, send me to hell. I was just like, oh my god, he's him. He
Yeah.
doesn't give a fuck about anything. I was like, okay, but yeah, that was funny. But in all serious note, though, to me, the best part of the series was by far the stunt work and the fight choreo. I mean, it was just so creative. It kind of reminded me of like me when I was a kid playing with my little action figures and how I would envision battles or fights in my head, like how they would play out. Like that's the level of creativity that was brought, in my opinion, to the fight choreo and to the stunt work. What the fuck are you laughing at? Hold
Who the
on, time
fuck do you
out.
think you are, bitch? This nigga said,
What do you
Back
mean?
when I was a kid, this is what I used to do. I was so creative when I was a kid. I had my Megazords fighting like this. And nigga, who do you think you are? You're
every
funny.
kid has a every kid has a level of imagination when it comes to playing with their toys and how they envision the scene to play out. Anyway, and also it's definitely not lacking in the fighting or the action. Like I think episode 4 is literally like just 45 minutes of just straight fights. So if you're into that kind of stuff, I think you'll really enjoy the show. I think my main complaint is that it could have benefited from having more than just 5 episodes. You can tell a lot of things felt rushed. A lot of people got from A to B very quickly. Like they would meet each other and become best friends. Like when he met the Grandmaster, like they had
Genkai.
like this Genkai, this lifelong connection after like 10 minutes of being on screen together. I'm like, that could have benefited from maybe adding 3 more episodes or something like that to have like an 8 episode arc. I don't know. But yeah, I credit the show because it made me feel something at times. Like I was like, this is a stupid ass little show. I'm just enjoying it for what it is. But when what's his name? Kubu Kuwabara, when I thought that nigga died, I was like, oh shit, I feel something for like I don't want him to die, you know. So anytime a show can do that, it gets kudos from me. And also, it's just last thing I just want to say about the show. It's so funny watching like nerdy shit around like girls. Like I'm talking about my girlfriend, because like I would just watch this show and she would walk by and she saw that nigga Tagura, what's his name? The big swole
Toguro.
nigga, Tagoro. And she was like, "Why he's so strong?" I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up. But yeah, like I thought he was a really decent villain. I kind of wanted to see more of him. But yeah, man, I overall I think the show at the end when they finally became Team Yusuke, I want to see more of them. I want to see this team go on more adventures. It's not as good as One Piece, but I think that live action adaptations from anime are getting progressively better. Like it's not to the point now where you just roll your eyes when something comes out. So I gave it
Hmm.
a B minus. I gave it a B minus, and I want to see season 2 of this show.
Wow. Okay. So I'm gonna echo your thoughts somewhat, but again, guys, I'm coming from a different perspective. And honestly, I'm not even coming from the perspective that most people are coming from because most people that are probably watching this have watched Yu Yu Hakusho growing up. They have that nostalgia factor with this show. They watched it on Toonami when it came out in the 90s and 2000s. I wasn't one of those kids. I thought this show looked fucking stupid. I loved Dragon Ball Z way more, and I was just like, I'm not watching this little dumb show with this nigga dressed in green shooting shit out his fingers. Like it looks stupid. So I didn't watch Yu Yu Hakusho until maybe like I don't know 7 or 8 years ago. And I'm talking about the anime anyway. And I it was cool, but because I didn't have that like nostalgia blocker, I think I was able to consume it at like I don't. This is gonna sound weird to say, but like at a higher level. Like I wasn't like I don't know. Like I didn't have that like oh my gosh, like there's Yusuke, like oh my gosh, there's Koenma, like oh my god, like you know what I'm saying. Like I was able to just watch it and enjoy it, let the show wash over me. Now I will say the Dark Tournament arc in Yu Yu Hakusho is fucking amazing. It is awesome, awesome, awesome. Like this is what any anime hopes to achieve. I will say that. But after that, now in terms of characters, Hiei is one of the coldest niggas in anime ever, ever. Like this nigga Hiei is him, okay? And I think that he got a lot of shine in the live action, but he didn't get enough for me. Um, I still think that he was one of the coolest characters, like how they were trying to like do his speed, and just show like how powerful he was. His fucking black dragon flame looked awesome. Kurama, Kurama, Kurama doesn't look like a bitch. I'm sorry. Like, I think it is like so hard to translate some of these anime to live action, just costumes and wigs. Like it just looks ridiculous. Like when Kurama had his final form and he was all white, that was like a moment in the anime. But here, like I just laughed. Like he looked ridiculous. I'm sorry. And even like his regular like all pink with the super long pink wig, he looked ridiculous live action. He just
That's
did to
red. That's red. That's not pink. You're
what the fuck
colorblind because I
ever.
notice a lot of times you say the color is wrong. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway, um, the only one that looked kind of cool was Yusuke and Kuwabara, but that's just because they're just green and blue. But anyway, let me talk about the good. So I watched this with much hesitation because, as you know, most of these live actions are just bad. They just are. But when I watched episode one, I was like, oh my god, we have a potential masterpiece on our hands because like you said, man, like the stunt work and the choreo, it was just on another level. Like I was just like, bro, like am I watching like prime Jackie Chan right now? Like in his like old Asia movies, like in the 80s and 90s, like this is the kind of creative and innovative things that Jackie Chan was doing with all the stuff with his environment and all this movement and all these dodges and these crazy shoots. And I'm just like, man, like this is crazy. Like, am I watching Yu Yu Hakusho? Like seriously, like I was like amazed. Um, like you said, like the actor who portrays Yusuke, I thought he was amazing, man. Like he was absolutely the star of the show. He has like that it factor to me. Like I think he could be like a big action star. Um, if not here, at least in China, which is I mean you're bigger in China anyway. So who gives a shit about here? Um, but yeah, and the first two episodes of this show, man, like I was really enjoying it. Like I was like, holy shit, we've got something here. Like I need everybody to watch this. And then I watched the last three, and I was just like, oh okay. It's interesting. Once they kind of got into like the more anime-y stuff, it just got progressively and progressively worse. That's just my opinion. Once they brought in Hiei, Kuwabara, Kurama, Genkai, Taguro, it just got worse. Like, sure, like they completely rushed everything. They didn't flesh out any real character really. But I don't know. They decided to give it 5 episodes for whatever reason. I'm sure they have their reasons. Maybe they just want to see the reception and see if people gave a damn. Which it seems like a lot of people are giving a damn. A lot of people are enjoying this for what it is, and to an extent, so am I. Like I said, like those first two episodes were really, really, really good. But then it just kind of went to hell. So I ended up giving this a C. I think anybody that has seen the anime can find some modicum of enjoyment to this, and I do still recommend this. Like I think if you've seen the anime, or even if you haven't seen the anime but you've heard of it, like Mondi, I think you can absolutely enjoy this. So, um, yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho live action. It is streaming on Netflix. Take a look.
So, did you watch any movies besides Aquaman?
Yes. Sorry, let me pull up my list here. I have Wonka.
You saw
and The
Wonka.
Boy and the
Hey.
Heron
Okay.
opening night. You're
Well.
funny. Let me get my the Boy and the Heron movie out of the way.
Okay.
So
Cool.
guys, if you remember, this is the movie that Monty literally told me not to go fucking see because he literally walked out. He couldn't finish it because it's too pretentious and there's 5 minute scenes of him just walking around. Shut the fuck up, Monty. I
Sorry,
hate you. You're so annoying.
Subi.
So I went to go see this movie with those thoughts in my mind because of how could I not? Monty's my friend. I love Monty. I've known Monty for years, guys. I value and trust his opinion. When Monty tells me that something is fucking shit, that's it. Like, okay, cool, it's shit. But you know, I was like, man, something is pulling me. Like, go see it. Like, literally, like, go see it, bro. Like, I was in the theater. Like, what the fuck is wrong with Monty? Like, I am in love with this. Like,
I'm in the minority. I know. I know.
first of all, I will give it to you. The first 30 to 40 minutes of this are incredibly slow and what you would bill as pretentious. And honestly, I can see why you walked out. I'm not gonna lie, like because there's basically nothing happening. It's just about the world and the animation, and you know these little small things that may or may not lead to anything. And I get it, but once they got to the other world and you know, things started moving along. Like I was just along for the ride, man, and I was enjoying it. Like the animation was breathtaking both times. I was like, wow, like this is movie level animation. Like you know, like this is something that I get to regularly see. Um, and I did go see it dubbed. Oh, sorry, I watched Yu Hakusho completely subbed. I didn't watch the dub. I don't know why the fuck Monty did that. And I think it was way better sub. That's what. Well, how can I compare that? I don't know that. Anyway, I did go see this dubbed because of the voice cast that was listed. You know, we got Robert Pattinson, Dave Bautista, Christian Bale, uh, Gemma Chan, Florence Pugh, and I'm missing somebody important, Mark Hamill. Anyway,
Oh,
so yeah, who?
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe. Yes, yes, yes. He was the dying bird. He was in there for like 2 seconds. Anyway, yeah, man. Look, I don't know. I actually really enjoyed this. I didn't even clock that that was his mother, the little fire girl, which I thought was super cool. A super cool revelation. Uh,
Remember, we're doing spoiler alerts before our review, so the people know that we're giving spoilers.
yeah, and I give a blanket statement that I'm going to be
Oh,
spoiling
okay.
everything. So
Okay.
yeah, that yeah.
Still.
So fuck all you guys.
All
Um,
right.
but yeah, man, like I really enjoyed this, man. I think my disappointment was the fact that they build all these actors, but most of them were barely in it. Dave Bautista and Mark Hamill, two of my favorite actors, they were barely in it, and I appreciate that they got a scene together at the end, which was great. Like I'm not sure that those two have ever worked together, so I thought that was super cool. But they literally had like less than 5 minutes of screen time apiece. Christian Bale was a surprising addition. I couldn't tell it was him for the most part until I had to until I had to sit there and think about it. Like, who the fuck is this dad? Like, why does he have so many lines? I was like, oh, okay, obviously it's Christian Bale. Like, okay, got it. Florence Pugh, like for once, she did something good. Like I thought Florence Pugh's character was great in this. Monty loves Florence Pugh, guys. She's not great to me. She hasn't proven it in literally anything she's been in, aside from this, which was just voice work. So, but you know what? Voice acting is acting. No, what happened? Oh, sorry. Sorry, I like clicked off my notes and now I don't know what I'm talking about because I need my notes. I'm a little baby. Animation was incredible. Fire Lady was dope. I enjoyed the journey. First half was tough, which was unfortunate. I said I honestly do see why Monty walked out. But look, I am glad that I stayed and finished this, guys. I think that the journey is more important. I ended up giving this a B. Shout out to Robert Pattinson too. I know everybody is giving him his flowers for this. He was great. I didn't expect him to have as many lines as he did. I mean, I heard that he only did 2 days of work for this. This nigga was in the entire movie from start to finish. So shout out to him, man. This movie was a journey. I honestly don't think that I would like go back to the theater to watch this. This is something that I would prefer to stream. But I really enjoyed it. The Boy and the Heron.
Pattinson's voice acting. If I had 100 guesses about who that actor could be without knowing who it was, I would have never guessed Robert Pattinson. Like he totally contorted his voice for that role. And are you a fan of other Studio Ghibli projects,
I
or
haven't.
will this inspire you to watch other projects?
It could, but I have not yet as of this day. Yeah, but I mean, I've heard nothing but great things about past films. So yeah.
I'm about to say, if you think this is good, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Um, let's talk Wonka. This is the Willy Wonka origin story. Dun dun dun. What are your thoughts on the Wonka movie?
It seems like a lot of people didn't realize this was a musical, which is, excuse me, it's funny because they literally build that in the promo. Anyway, I low key love this. I'm not gonna lie. Like uh, throughout the entirety of the film, and it's just fun, whimsical nature. I was just enjoying it, man. Like I was just enjoying it for what it was. Um, I feel like the promo for this was a little weird in that they tried to bill it as just like this goofy thing, and it is, but it's much more whimsical and fun than that. And Timothy Chalamet, man, he impressed me. Like I completely bought him as Willy Wonka. I completely bought him as like this basically insane guy. um, you know, Gene Hackman's interpretation of the character is all I've really known. So
Gene
to
Wilder.
see, thank you, Gene Wilder. So to see this interpretation was great. I loved every homage they did to the original film, um, and you know, at the end, it's funny. Like usually, it's like the first and second half that's slow, and then the third act, you're like, okay. But in this, it was like the opposite. Like I was really loving like the first two acts of just all of the narrative, the dances, the choreo, the songs. I was like loving the characters, and then the third act just got really weird. I'm just like, wait, like I don't care about this whole chocolate plot, and like I just it wasn't
The
bothering with
Chocolate
me.
Cartel.
Yeah, right. Like these niggas are gangsters. Like like this is like literally like the mob. Like I okay, well you're losing me. But then it was like dun 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 dun, dun. And yeah, that nigga was like, "Come with
With
me."
me,
Hey,
and
I was like,
you'll be.
"Hey!" I'm in there. I'm right back in it, baby. I'm right back in it. Yeah. Like anyway, I absolutely love this. I ended up giving this a B plus. I had a lot of fun with this, man. I think the thing that really made me enjoy this the most was the actual callbacks. And wait, do we have Oompa Loompa lore? Like these niggas have like their own island now?
I mean, that was kind of already established in the Johnny Depp version. I don't know if you saw that though, but yeah.
I did not. No. But yeah, that's my view. Spoiler free as it can be. I really enjoyed that. Well, that was really spoiler free. I kind of spoiled a lot for you guys there, which I gave a blanket statement that I am going to spoil everything. So, yes, Monty, tell me.
All right. So my review will also be spoiler free. We've been on total different pages today. Like I disagree with everything you've been
That's
saying
cool.
today about these reviews.
There's nothing
No,
wrong
I
with
know,
that.
I know. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying. So first of all, me and the masses were all worried when we first saw that snippet that came out earlier this year of Timothy Chalamet going flip it, reverse it, and turn it upside down. We were like, oh my god. And so I was worried going into this movie, but I wanted to give it a chance. And I do think that when you compare the iconic performances of both Gene Wilder and, in my opinion, Johnny Depp, not everybody agrees with Johnny Depp performance being iconic. I think it is. Yeah, I just don't think Timothy Chalamet compares to those two at all. And I know maybe it's unfair to compare, but at the same time, no, it's not because he's playing that iconic character, Willy Wonka. So it's not unfair to compare. And I think that Wilder and Depp had more charisma in their left pinky toe than Chalamet did in this entire movie. Now, I think Chalamet is obviously super talented. You know, I'm a big Dune fan. I think he's done some really great work in the past. I know he's talented. I just don't think this was the role for him. A lot of his whimsicalness felt so forced to me, and I was literally cringing at like a lot of his dialogue. You know, I think Hugh Grant was a good addition to the movie. I wish he was used more as the Oompa Loompa. I thought he was used a little too sparingly, in my opinion. And I did not notice this was a musical at all. Like I sat in my seat expecting just It wasn't. It wasn't marketed. It wasn't marketed as. And keep in mind, I
It
love musicals.
was.
By the way,
It
I
was.
fucking. It wasn't. I love, and also the OG film that this movie is, I kind of loosely kind of based on, is a musical as well. But I just didn't put two and two together. But also I saw a report that kind of confirmed my feelings, saying that basically, marketing or basically all movies right now are not marketing movies as musicals. Like Mean Girls is not being marketed as a musical. If you watch the trailer, The Color
Yes, it
Purple,
is. What? Are you
kinda. It's
serious?
not. No, but like in the past, if Mean Girls would have came out 10 years ago, they would have had the music actually in the trailer. Like, I remember when we saw the trailer on here and we kind of talked about it. I was like, why wasn't there any kind of like musical numbers in the trailer? Because movie studios think that musicals are turning audiences away, so they're trying to trick audiences into watching movies. I guess the masses without them knowing it's a musical. So I didn't know this was a musical. I didn't know. Anyway, and like I said, that's not subtracting from my grade of this movie at all. It was just a surprise, I guess. Um, where was I? Yeah, to me, all the best parts of the film were anything that had to do with like the OG callbacks to the original film, and so that kind of tells me that the movie can't really stand on its own with all of this new stuff that it introduced. Like, to me, the best parts were like you said, the "Come with Me" or the Oompa Loompas, or just anything that's a direct reference to the OG film. And so overall, man, I ended up giving this movie a C+. I mean, I thought it was okay. It had some fun to be had in points, but I was overall personally kind of disappointed with it.
Got it.
Um, Next review for the big one here. This is the end of the DCEU. Rest in peace. We
Thank
have
God.
Aquaman, and the Lost Kingdom. Go ahead.
This shit was ass. It was ass. This was so unoriginal, uninspiring. Like, they knew it was over and they were just trying to get this movie out. And I felt that sitting in my seat. I literally almost walked out. Me and Abby looked at each other about an hour in and we were just like, what the fuck? Um, if if like the most memorable thing about this movie is the fact that there's like a roach joke that is pretty telling. Um, I I don't care if I ever see this again. I'm never gonna watch this again. Shout out to Jason Momoa. I think his wow, yeah. I mean, okay, whatever, nigga. This nigga Jason Momoa. I mean, look, even he doesn't care. Like, if you've seen anything on this promo tour about how he's been talking about this movie, he doesn't give a fuck, and it shows it in the film. I thought they played it safe on so many counts. They could have went there on so many counts, and like they could have actually made a good film, but they just didn't, because I mean, honestly, even if they did, it wouldn't have mattered because this shit is over. And I think that's like the root of my entire issue with this, the Flash, and everything else they released, Shazam 2. There's just nothing else, and they know it. And it's over. So they didn't care. Like, they were just out here doing dumb shit, and stuff that we've seen a million times before. Like, how many times are we going to go to this uninhibited island that has these fucking genetically engineered monsters, with like, I'm sick of seeing large ants and large grasshoppers and killer plants. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it. I'm sick of like this random buddy cop. Like, okay, he was the bad guy in the first movie, but guess what? He's going to be in the second movie. I don't. I'm sick of it, bro. I'm sick of it. I was so disappointed. This movie fucking sucked. This movie is not an F like Shazam 2 was, but if there was ever like a D rating for bad, like, this is a bad movie. That's what this is. This movie just played it safe throughout the entirety of the film. It was so boring. It was a slug to get through. I I was like so glad when it was over. And yeah, I stayed for the post credit scene like a fucking dumbass, knowing good and well that it was going to be nothing. And of course it was. So yeah, this movie fucking sucked. And I hate it that I wasted 2 hours of my life watching this bullshit. What do you think, Monty? Please tell me that you absolutely loved it, because we're just so opposite today.
Loved. I'm kidding. So first of all, I think that some context is needed about how I feel about these Aquaman movies. So the
It's
first
not.
one, when I saw
It's not. I mean, it's over, bro. There's no context needed. It doesn't matter how you
why
feel about the ones before it.
how fucking first of all, how dare you interrupt my review like that?
Go
It's
ahead.
not,
Go ahead.
nigga. Anyway,
It's not.
the first one I saw, I literally hated when I saw it in theaters. I hated it, and I saw it the second time, and I let it wash over me. No pun intended.
Yeah, that was definitely a pun.
And yeah, and I actually enjoyed it the first movie. The second time I saw it, I was like, you know what, this movie's not trying to be good. It's just trying to be silly, and it just wants to be a fun, wild ride. And so I kind of went into this movie with those same expectations, and that kind of helped me. I think I was able to enjoy the ride enough because I knew I'm not going to get a good movie with this movie. I'm just going to get a fun underwater ride. And so that's, for the most part, that's what I got. I was
Is it?
surprised. I was surprised to see Amber Heard in it as much as I did. I could, all the things were going on with her and Johnny Depp over the summer or whatever. But she wasn't in it as much as she should have been. You can tell like a lot of her scenes are probably cut down. But I was just surprised that she was in it as much as she was at all. Period. That's a white queen, by the way. So fine. Her line ass. Also, I want to break down just the three bigs in this movie, which are Jason Momoa, Patrick Wilson, and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. So when it comes to Jason Momoa, like you said, he's just having a blast. He was having a blast earlier this year in Fast X. He's having a blast again. His career has just basically come down to him having a blast in movies. He's not even acting at this point. He's just having fun. The decision to make Jason Momoa like Cowabunga, yeah, bro, like to make Aquaman like that as opposed to who he is in the comics, with like more stoic and just like kind of an asshole. I hope James Gunn can kind of rectify that and make the Aquaman that we get in the comics. I like that version a lot more, like almost like how like Namor is in the MCU. Um, but like I said, Momoa's cool. Patrick Wilson, I actually like the arc of villains becoming anti-heroes. I like that arc when it's done semi well. I thought it was done semi well here. I mean, the whole buddy cop thing was probably the best part of the movie in my opinion, just because there's two polar opposites and they're coming together. Patrick Wilson, I want to shout out his fucking workout routine. Like, bro, like for anybody who's followed Patrick Wilson's career, he's never been this fucking big and ripped in his life. And for him to be this old and be this ripped, I'm like, bro, I love the dedication. We had three beefy men in this movie. We had him, Yaha, and Jason Momoa. Like, yeah, it was some beefcakes in this.
What?
and
Ain't no
and
way.
lastly, Yaha Abdul-Mateen II. Niggas know how I feel about him. I'm sorry, bro, but his Black Manta, I was like, you know what? This is the movie. This is when he gets the chance to redeem himself. Because I hate Black Manta in part one. This nigga got worse, bro. I fucking hate Yahya Abdul-Mateen's second Black Manta. It's just so fucking bad. It's like it's so corny, but like it's not even the fun corny. And I know he's talented. I've seen him do some great work before, but like, bro, the suit is stupid. The suit looks stupid. The fucking voice in the suit sounds stupid. The scene, there's a scene in the movie when like he's supposed to be, it's like a jump scare when like the baby's in the house and like just the red eyes come on. I literally busted out laughing. Like I'm like, nigga, I can't take you serious. Get the fuck off the screen. Um, I think the movie does a great job of like just showing the ocean as like it's a whole new world. Like I don't feel like outer space. Like it's just a whole new universe, and so we get to visit all these locations and all these different kind of creatures. I love when the movie leans into that. But like you said, man, besides it being a fun ride, it's nothing. I mean, it has all the emotional beats that it tries to hit land so flat on their face, it's not even funny. Like the scene, like you said, when they can really go for, like, for those who read or even know of the comic, there's this big Aquaman storyline regarding his child and what they could have done with that. And the movie just pulls so many punches to his detriment. I'm like, nigga, this is the last movie in the DCEU. Fucking go for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, kill, like kill.
I mean,
You know
look,
what I'm saying?
I
I don't know.
they didn't even have to kill the baby, but it would have been cool if Aquaman could have lost his hand trying to save his son's life. That would have
Right?
been
Something.
cool. I would have been like, wow, okay, great. But they couldn't even fucking do that. Like it was just them screaming, "Get away from my son!" Like, oh, get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there are overall. I gave the movie a C plus. Overall, there are. I mean, but there are some things I just want to point out just real quick that I want your thoughts on. That I put in my notes from the movie. I thought that scene when Black Manta first comes to Atlantis to hijack the fuel. I thought that was a really dope action sequence. I was like, okay, like that, to me, that's one of the best action sequences in the DCEU period. Like just all the different moving components of like we get to see Aquaman's mom. She get into some battle action. We get to see the hyper tube is really cool. Kind of reminded me like Mario Kart when you get into the little thing. Mara, I thought even though Mara was used sparingly in the movie, I thought she had some of the best scenes where her little water magic looks so fucking dope. Like that sequence alone was just so cool. Like I love how they swim like they're flying, but the movie wasn't able to maintain that kind of action throughout. But I thought that was a really good sequence. Do you agree with that at least?
Uh, no, not really.
Okay,
I do
that's
think.
fine.
Look, I mean, I will agree that anytime Mira was on the screen, I was like, okay, she's awesome. But she was on the screen for maybe a total of 7 minutes throughout the film. So yeah. Um, that chase sequence was fine, but I was like falling asleep through it, so didn't
Okay,
captivate me a lot. Yeah,
So not fine. Uh, did you see Calderon in the background?
I did not.
There's a scene when they're in the chase scene where if you look down in the right hand corner, somebody's getting their back blown out. That's Garth fucking Calderon.
Boo, boo.
Okay, but also to me, I literally died laughing a second time in this movie when Orm is like skinny and shit, and he lay on that beach, and the water washed over him. That nigga said,
Mm-hmm.
"Bruh, that shit, nigga, that shit turned me up." I'm sorry, that shit turned me up. Bro. That shit was like a
Did it?
Kryptonian feeling sunlight for the first time after like 20 years. Like, bro, that shit was hard as fuck. Bro, you know that was hard, bro.
It wasn't. It was
Why
uninspired. It
why
was
are you like this?
unoriginal.
Why are
It
you
was
like this?
boring. It was boring. Everything in this movie was
Nigga,
boring, bro. No, nothing excited
when
me.
Orm went Super Saiyan, that was boring.
Yes, it was boring. Why the fuck was this nigga's prison a stone's throw away from the ocean? Why? Like,
Because
I'm sorry. I
those
don't know.
those were still Atlanteans, I believe, right? Those dry niggas.
Mm-mm.
They were like an offshoot of Atlanteans.
Mm-mm. They were like some deep, which also didn't make sense. They're just some random species that the Earth has. Like what? Okay, cool.
Anyway, and lastly, I had some issues with the whole Necris storyline. Negris, Black Manta, Black Trident, nigga, Black City. Okay, bitch. All
I
right,
tried to
DC,
tell you.
count your
I tried
fucking
to tell
days,
you.
bitch. Count your fucking days.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I said, guys, C plus. I had fun enough with it, but like Julian said, if I don't watch this movie ever again, I'll totally be okay.
Yeah, this movie means nothing. I actually don't want anyone to go see this. Like, do not waste your time. That's how I feel because the DCU is over. And I want to discuss this. The DCU is finally over, and I'm fucking glad
No,
because this was
DCEU is
just
over. The DCU starting in 2025.
the DCEU is finally over, and I'm so glad. This is just 10 years of just fuck up and mistakes and overconfidence and just bad decisions, man. And it's crazy how well it started, and then just how poorly it's been handled these past few years. Hopefully, James Gunn and Peter Safran can save it, but yeah, I mean, I'm low key salty. Like I really think that we had something great here when Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Justice League came out, but it feels like I was like the only one that felt that way, and that's unfortunate because you know I was so excited for Batman vs Superman, but looking back, that was like the beginning of the end. Like nobody liked that movie aside from like me, and I think you enjoy it,
I
but
love it.
like
It's a masterpiece.
okay, thank you. But like
Yeah,
nobody else likes the movie. Like
nigga,
everybody's just like, Batman, that movie sucks. Yeah, it's so dark. I'm like, oh my god, you
that's
fucking
a
dork.
masterpiece, literally.
I love
Yeah,
Batman
but
vs Superman.
it sounds like you don't like it. It sounds like when Snyder left is when things started going to hell. When Warner Brothers made this hasty decision, oh my god, it's not light enough as the MCU, so we're gonna remove Zack Snyder, and then it went to hell. So fuck y'all, Warner Brothers. Anyway,
Yeah, let's move
let's
on.
get
Yep.
into some video game news real quick. Naughty Dog says the Last of Us Factions, which was like a multiplayer Last of Us game, has been canceled. The quote was, "There's no easy way to say this. We've made the incredibly difficult decision to stop development on that game." Any thoughts on the
Probably,
multiplayer? Oh,
yeah, probably because there's nothing there. Which, I mean, who gives a fuck about playing as Ellie or Joel in like some random multiplayer experience? I'm not sure what they would do that's like original. So I'm glad they canceled it. They can just focus on The Last of Us Part 3 if that's what they're going to do. And yeah, full steam ahead.
as a God of War fan, I would love your thoughts on this. One of the game directors for the original God of War games, David Joff, said Kratos has become too soft. His quote is, "I don't like the direction that God of War is going in. Your core audience for God of War, I don't think gives a fuck about family in that way." So what are your thoughts on that?
I would say that he's wrong. I mean, and like the numbers show it, but he has a personal attachment to Kratos. So I completely understand his feelings. Like when he was conceptualizing the character, he was nothing but like an angry rage monster. And hey, that was cool. It was successful. But to completely reinvent the character like Corey Ballark has done, I think needs to be appreciated. And yeah, I mean, would Kratos be one of the greatest video game characters of all time without 2018's God of War? Maybe, but there would be an argument against it. But now, like, there's no argument. Like, if you're looking at like the greatest PlayStation characters of all time, like Kratos is probably leading the charge. Which I don't know you could say before that game came out. So Yeah, I mean, like I said, as the creator, I understand his feelings. This isn't the character that he created. I totally get that, but he's wrong, flat out, my opinion.
All right. All right. Here are some of the highest selling video games of 2023 so far. At I'll count down. At number 4 is Spider-Man 2. At number 3 is Tears of the Kingdom. At number 2 is Modern Warfare 3. And number 1, Hogwarts Legacy. Any surprises there?
No, not at all. It's crazy how much money Call of Duty makes. I just don't understand it. And I play Call of Duty every day, but like I didn't think that like everybody else did, but apparently they fucking do. Yeah, Zelda, Spider-Man 2, Tears of the Kingdom sounds about right. Yep.
Alrighty. Fun fact: the total budget for Spider-Man 2 video game was $315 million. It cost more than any Spider-Man film that's ever been made. Any thoughts there?
That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. But okay. I guess they made their money back. I mean, I don't know. Shout out to Insomniac. I guess we're gonna talk about their hack pretty soon. So
Yeah. Speaking of Spider-Man, I bought my little cousin because he has a PS4. His little poor ass. I bought him. I bought him Miles Morales on PS4. Is that a good gift? Is that still relevant? I mean, he likes Spider-Man a lot, so I just.
yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, why not get him the actual Spider-Man game?
I mean, I would get him Spider-Man 2, but it's not on PS4.
No, like there's Spider-Man 1. Like you
Oh,
got him the second game in the series. Like why not give him the first
well,
game?
he's black, so trying to appeal. Spider-Man and nigger. You know.
Oh, got it.
Um.
Okay. This nigga chose
Uh,
for him. Okay.
you will play what I say.
Right.
And watch him be like, oh, thank you. Um,
I mean, he should be fucking grateful. I'm just saying, like, damn, nigga skipped the whole game.
Watch storyline like I did, bitch. A major Insomniac leak has happened, revealing quite a bit. We have an entire game slate leak until 2030, with some notable mentions being a Venom game and an X-Men game at the end of the year or end of the timeline. We have personal info on many employees. The masses of the Wolverine footage and gameplay has been leaked, as well as more than 1 terabyte, guys, not gigabyte, 1 terabyte of internal data leaked. What are your thoughts on this Batman villain?
Yeah, man, this sucks. Insomniac literally just released a statement today, saying that, we got hacked, unfortunately, and just be patient and shit like that. But it sucks because, like, people are, like, trying to play, like, this early stage of, like, the Wolverine game, and they're trying to shit on it, which is so weird. Like, imagine you're making a movie and you have the cast and, like, it's day 10 of 100 of shooting, and then like whatever you have just gets leaked, and like they're like, this movie sucks. Like wait, like we haven't done anything yet. Like the game isn't slated to come out for another 3 years, which is ridiculous, but whatever. So yeah, I mean it sucks that they got hacked. But whoever did it is fucking going down, because the GTA 6 hacker, this nigga just got life in prison in a hospital or whatever. Like Jesus Christ, like they threw the book at this nigga. And all he did was like release a trailer. Or no. I actually think that he did more than that. I actually think he actually hacked Rockstar and released early game footage too. So yeah, that poor kid, that nigga thought shit was all fun and games. Not no more, bitch. You just lost your life for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Insomniac got hacked, which sucks for them, man. The release slate looks crazy. We're getting a Venom game, which isn't that surprising. We're getting Spider-Man 3, which also isn't surprising. But the big surprise for me was we're getting an X-Men game. Like, wait, what? We're getting an entire X-Men game in this world? Okay. In 2030, how old will I be? Wait, I'll be 37? Damn, be an old man. So yeah, I mean, shout out to Insomniac, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you touched on that 18-year-old who got life. Crazy. The nigga that hacked GTA 6 got life in a mental hospital because apparently he's autistic. They say this nigga used a hotel TV, a Roku remote, and a laptop to hack Rockstar. And Rockstar said, "Bitch, you're done. We're gonna put this nigga under the jail because never again." And
Yeah.
no, but the funniest thing is that this nigga stated that if he was to ever get released, he will hack Rockstar again. So, like I said, I love Batman villains when they come to reality, because it just makes for the most entertaining headlines ever.
Yeah.
And I will do it again.
nigga made a threat. Say, yeah, don't put me back out there, bitch, because I ain't gonna stop. Wait a minute.
Nigga, send
Okay.
that nigga to Arkham, nigga. Send that nigga to Azkaban.
Jesus.
I kill serious. Okay. Charlie Hunnam, for those who don't know, he's the star of Sons of Anarchy show. You've seen him in the movie that only me and you love, which is the King Arthur Legend of the Sword. First of all, guys, if you haven't seen that fucking movie, it's a fucking masterpiece, bitch. He says that he almost was cast as Anakin Skywalker early in his career. He said, "I got to the point where I was meeting with George Lucas. That's really far. Could you have seen Charlie Hunnam as Anakin Skywalker? I mean, have you
Of
seen him
course I
in enough
could.
things besides Legend of the Sword?
Uh, Probably, yeah, I think I have, but I mean, yeah, I could have seen him as Anakin. Sure, he looked just like Hayden, honestly. Maybe a little
He does not.
meaner,
He does not
which
look like Hayden.
all white people look alike. So yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
I could have totally could have seen it. What do you think?
First of all, we just lost 5 subscribers. And second of all,
Hmm.
it's also rumored that he was fans. First of all, fans want him to be Green Arrow so much because he looks just like Oliver Queen, and I wanted to, but he actually said in a recent interview, like, I don't give a fuck who that is, and I don't want everyone to be him. So when actors shoot themselves in the foot like that, you deserve whatever you get because you could have had $1 billion, bitch. Well, not a billion, but 150 billion. James Gunn says that it was Matt Reeves' decision to keep the Batman out of the DCU. I thought that was super interesting. He said his quote was, "It's his choice, and we respect that." So that kind of implies maybe James Gunn had a meeting with Matt Reeves and, "Hey, do you want us to weave this into the DCU?" And Matt Reeves said, "No, I make art, bitch." Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, not really. I mean, on the surface level, it just looks like he wanted to do his own thing unimpeded, and he probably met with James Gunn, and James Gunn had different ideas. He's like, okay, well, we're just going to do what we want to do, which is what we've been doing. So, no, thank you. Um, Whatever. Cast a new Batman for the Brave and the Bold, and let's have 2 Batman, 2 Robins. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think this is for the better only because the Batman doesn't. I mean, I haven't seen James Gunn's universe, but based on what I know about James Gunn, there's no way the Batman's going to fit. Is going to fit that mold. But Matt Reeves is still being a team player. He's producing a lot of stuff for the upcoming DCU and stuff like that, including like an Arkham series, I believe. So he's still on Team DCU, but not the Batman won't be a part of that, which I think is for the best. James Gunn wants the Guardians of the Galaxy to continue in the MCU with its current members. He said, I trust Kevin to pick the right person for that as to continue the next trilogy or whatever. But as of right now, for those who might not have remembered from Guardians 3, we have Rocket still on the team, Groot, Adam Warlock, Cosmo, and Kraglin. So would you want to see the Guardians expand or continue with this new team?
No, thanks. No. I want my Guardians back. I don't want this fucking ragtag group. Like, you just named 5 niggas, and all I heard was Rocket and Groot. So, yeah.
I would definitely want it to continue. I think Guardians has something special with its formula of just being wacky and kind of having the whole cosmic kind of presence in the MCU. So I think if the right director can take it over, I would definitely love to see the Guardians continue. And who knows, maybe we can get Gamora come in every now and then, or Drax come in. So yeah, that'd be really cool for me. And last bit of Marvel news is this is the big one, guys. Jonathan Majors has been dropped by Marvel after being found guilty of assault and harassment. He faces up to 1 year in jail. He probably won't get that, though, to be honest. Marvel reportedly intends to move forward with the Avengers 5, and it's not clear yet if they will recast Kang or who they will recast Kang with. But the big news is Majors got dropped, and this has been on the horizon for a long. I said it would happen. Julian was like, "No, they'll never drop him." I told you. What are your thoughts on Majors being dropped?
I don't remember saying that, but okay.
You said it multiple times. But okay.
uh, all right, okay, yeah. So I'm not gonna act like an expert on this case because I'm absolutely not. The only things I've really like read or even attempted to waste my time reading was what he was guilty of. Um, he didn't beat her or choke her or whatever. Apparently, she had like a bruise on her finger from when he was putting her in the car to like run away from her, and that's what his verdict is guilty of. Um, from Marvel's and Disney side, I totally understand um, them having to drop him. Like there's like their hands are tied. They are a corporation. They're here to make money first. They can't have a nigga out here breaking any kind of law being on their payroll especially in such a major way. No pun intended. Holy shit. So,
Ooh.
so yeah, I totally get it from Marvel and Disney's perspective, even though I don't love it. Um, I mean, at this point, I don't know what is the best option to just completely move away from the Kang thing, which would be so difficult. Well, maybe it won't be difficult at all. Maybe they'll just completely wrap into something else, Doctor Doom. I don't know, or if they're just going to completely recast the character. Um, I think the simplest thing would be to recast and just keep going, but I don't know. Maybe they'll just wash their hands with the character altogether. I don't know. In terms of Jonathan Majors, the man, I hope that this doesn't ruin his career. Obviously, he's going to take some type of hiatus to, just go away and then come back after he's been forgiven or whatever. And, so we probably won't see him for the next 5 years or so, but he's extremely talented. He made the smallest mistake, but somebody in his position can't afford to make any level of mistake. So hopefully he learns from this and, he comes back to us when he can. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I have. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of pissed, man, because like you said, the reason that he got charged for the harassment and the assault was really just for putting her in the car. Like, it's not even like the
Mm-hmm.
choking and shit like that. So like, it's just for. I think he's being perceived as being overly aggressive just because of his build and him being a black man, obviously, and that's just
Mm-hmm.
pissing me off. He lost out on a opportunity of a lifetime. That sounds like a Drisky when I said that.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunity of a lifetime. I think his Kang was one of the brighter spots in this new era of the MCU that has honestly, if we're being honest, is in a downfall.
It is.
And so I think this just sucks, man. He was literally one of the best shining parts here. But Kang is honestly somebody that you can easily recast. It's just because of his lore and how he's has all these different variants. I think if they did recast it, it'd be very easy to kind of go about it, even though I don't want the recast. But yeah, man, Jonathan Majors, sorry, but I mean, you was fucking with white girl, so you get what you get,
Whoa.
So yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah. Yeah. And last bit of news here, guys, is a new One Piece anime called The One Piece is in the works at Netflix from WIT Studio. As a One Piece fan
Wit
or
Studio.
Wit Studio, as a One Piece fan, what does this mean to you, if anything?
This is absolutely insane. Stuff like this just doesn't happen for anime that's still going. Um, unless you're One Piece, apparently. So, I don't know. Like, I mean, this is absolutely a big deal. Like for those of you that aren't familiar with Wit Studio, they've directed or they've animated every episode of Vinland Saga. They've directed. Sorry, I keep saying directed. They've animated every episode or the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan. Um, and I believe they did season 3 and 4 of My Hero Academia as well, or maybe all of it. I can't remember. Anyway, they're a big fucking deal. They have great animators. Their shows always look super good and super crisp. And one thing that One Piece always gets a knock for is their animation. Um, the drawing style is different than most modern anime. And until the Wano arc, their animation was a little lacking. So to see that they're going to completely reanimate the first arc and probably more is just going to be insane to see. This is big news, man. One Piece fans are absolutely winning. Like, we've gotten a live action season 2 confirmed. We're getting this. The manga is just on fire. The anime is just finished. The Wano arc is about to go to Egghead Island. Uh, I mean, One Piece fandom is just winning right now.
All right, guys, that wrap. Oh, last question: Do Wit Studios do any Star Wars Visions at all? Episodes?
I don't know for a fact that I wouldn't be
Okay.
surprised.
Okay. Well, guys, that wraps it up. Thank you guys for listening to us rant today.
Yeah, yeah. Fun.
Any thoughts or any lasting thoughts, Julian?
Um, no, Mondi, you're the best. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.